thought I'd do a really quick video on replacing your existing Truma control panel with a Truma iNET X panel, which is one of these. So the benefit of switching over to one of these is you can sell your old panel because they're still of value, they're still being used. But instead of having to use your old panel and then put another box on that to add in the Bluetooth or phone connectivity, with this, the Bluetooth connectivity is already in, and also it sort of future-proofs you a little bit because this has got lots of other types of connectors, which you can see on there. So you've got like OTS, RTS, CAN, CI, TIN. I don't know what all of them are. I know like CAN, presumably that's CAN bus, but it allows you for more connectivity. So that's that on the back if you can see it. The other benefit is that as they update you can update the software first and foremost through the app, and the main reason I'm doing it is because it'll allow me to adjust the temperature from my house. So if I want to get in the van, turn the temperature up, I can do from the comfort of my house. So if I'm going to if we're going to jump in the van, go somewhere, I can jump in the shower or do whatever I'm doing, then I'm ready. By the time I get in the van, it's heated up. So there's not many videos about fitting these. There's videos on how to use the screen, but there's not many videos on how to fit it. So here it goes. Let's see how easy it is. So first off, when you unpack it, some of the little things that I struggled to suss out is you've got these little clips on the reverse, and presumably, because there's literally no directions on how to fit this unless you can find them online, but I couldn't. If you just press that little clip in, it pushes out. So what I presume happens is this panel comes off, and I'll show you that in a minute, and these just push in, and I think they just sort of push for resistance into whatever hole you put into. So for example, my furniture board is there. As you push that in, it will hold it down, and then on the back there's this, which on the front is a screw. You undo it, and then that presumably hangs down and then creates that force to effectively push it into the furniture board, or push it into your opening, push it in, and then this one at the back will then hold it in place, and obviously it will sit up to sort of that depth, and then yeah, go from there. Now I'm not sure what I want to do yet. At the minute I've got my Truma sat on the inside of my overhead locker. So I'll give you a view of my van. So that's my van. I'll put the lights on it. So I've got it inside my locker at the minute. It's nice because it's just neat and out of the way. This is my electrical unit. I've got a Clayton all-in-one unit, and I can turn my 230 on and off from there, and then the Truma's just above it. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to connect this up. So this is your 12 volt, and just to show you this, because it confused me a little bit at the start, you've got these kind of circuit boards at the back, and then it comes with this, and if you look, it's a 3 and a 1, and really the only one that it fits is that, and it's obviously 12 volts. That's the key thing that you need, and you just basically pop it down there and it clips in. So that's your 12 volt, and then that's the main, presumably it's the main connector that you have on the back of your unit. So I'll take my unit off, reuse that and push it in. I will use my electrical connectors to stick onto there, and off we go. So what I've done so far is I've taken the knob off, I've undone the screw, and all you got to do then is lift it off, and then inside I have so there are my connectors. pull that through a little bit. Yeah, so nothing's ever easy when you're doing it one-handed. So yeah, so they're my connectors. So all I need to do is I'll unconnect this, which is the 12 volt connection, and that is the one that should disconnect and go straight into the new unit. Should be straightforward, and as I say, the issue I've got is that I've just got to make that hole bigger. And I've got a funny feeling that it could be working well for me doing it on the inside of a unit rather than on show, because I've got a funny feeling that these screw holes are gonna show. So let's see. Right, so I've just connected these in, and it's on. So that was pretty straightforward. Let me just turn my, oh there you go. Let me just turn my big light out so it's not causing reflection. Right. So, yeah, presumably, I'll just touch English. Right, so yeah, just touch English, continue. Taking its time, but spoke too soon. There you go. So I don't know what that's asking me, so I might have to kind of revert back to the instructions there. But so far so good. Let's have a quick look on the instructions. Right, so the instructions are use and their ornament. So all this is telling me is what's connected. So that is that's basically the panel. It's telling you what the firmware is and what have you. And then you got to press back, and then this is my connected boiler. And again, it's telling me what firmware, which is quite good actually. It tells you what firmware you've got and what have you. And I just click continue. So then I'm into the main screen. So what I'll need to do is just very quickly download the app on my phone. So downloaded the app. Gives a bit of an overview of what's happening. Change the language. So yeah, that's just your settings. You can go back in and change that, but basically what we'll do is connect, start, gives you a few warning instructions. Yeah, all very sensible. Continue. So, no account, sign up now. So what you've got to do then is you go to the app. It took a while, that took about 5 minutes. So now it's saying update file was transferred, ready to install. Everything will be turned off, so let's install that now. Just a note, come on Truma, what are you talking about? people want to work on their own vans, like only a trained personnel, blah blah blah. Absolute bollocks, guys. Come on, pull your finger out. Yeah, that's definitely pissed me off. And what's annoyed me is, because of this, they don't give you any information on the fitting. So I feel like I'm winging it a little bit. Now, the whole point of me getting in with Truma is that you're going with a known brand that's well recognised, and there's lots of information out there. So, like, why try and stop people working on their own caravans and vans? It's just absolute bollocks. So that took a while. That took about, what's that? Anyway, you'll see on the top screen, I think it took about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but supposedly it's done. So this is what it says. I keep having to turn the brightness down because you can't see the top bit, but successfully installed. Now you can use the control panel. So what I've noticed, I don't know if it's just because I'm so bloody cold today, but the touch screen's not working very well. But the first thing I'm going to do is change the date and time. So I've just sort of put my phone down and used both hands. It is working a bit better. I think it's because my hands are so cold and numb, or the way I'm holding it, I don't know, but you know, it seems to be working a lot better now. So that's your speed of your fan. I normally used to always have it on low. It is freezing though, so I might just turn that fan up to kind of warm the van up. So it pulses like that when it's on and working. You go into gas, which then tells you the gas is on, and you can turn your 900 watt or 800 watt, which normally you'd be wanting to do that when you're at hookup. What I have tended to do is when I'm driving, because my Clayton power unit works so well and I've got such good electricity, or should I say such good 230 watt electricity, I have used that when I'm driving. So when I'm driving, I get excess electricity, I'll warm my boiler for a bit, and then when I get there I'll turn the electric off. But you just got to be careful, because that type of electricity, even with I've got 160 amp lithium battery, can burn through it pretty quick. I just tend to leave it on gas. Anyway, this is not, I didn't really want this to be a video about using the screen, but given that I'm here, I may as well kind of very quickly run through it. Hot water. So see how it's not, see, it's gone unresponsive again. There you go. Water is switched off. So I can either turn that on or off. If I turn it on, I can do faster heating, which would use electricity. And it's asking me what I want to move it up to. So I think faster heating is, I'll double check that. No, it's not. So faster heating, I think, means that it'll take priority over the hot water for a minute over the heating. If I'm right with that. There you go, it tells you anyway. So faster heating for 40 minutes. So does that prioritize the water, or does that prioritize the heating? Presumably, because it says heating, it means heating. I don't know. This is not a very good instructional video. So there you go, it chooses where you want to take the power from on your water, and obviously I want it from gas. Press the back button. So yeah, on the plus you can go up to, oh, that's interesting, it says long shower. So it's a lot more kind of, so you shower, that's just for dishes, so it's hot enough for your hands. That's quite nice actually, it makes it a little bit more contextual. So just for dishes at 40 degrees, if you want a shower, if you want a long shower. So yeah, there you go, pretty good. I don't need it on, so I can actually, oh, this is so hard to do with one hand, but I can turn that off. That turned it off. There you go. First impressions are that the touch screen on the control panel is a bit temperamental. and I'll next show you how I'm going to install it, but I just very quickly thought I'd go through the app, because the app's a lot more easy to use. So it connects pretty quick, which is good. I can turn my hot water on and then decide what level I want the hot water at. So just warm enough for doing the dishes, or for the shower, or really long shower, which is basically that heat boost thing. So I don't need the hot water on. Room climate, again, turn it off or on, and then decide how warm I want it. That's pretty good. I think some kind of click and drag would have been quite nice. I know you have that on some of the Nest ones. You click into more and you've got fast or comfort. I can probably turn that down to comfort now, to save on the electricity on it. You can just choose ventilation as well, but keep it on heating. I've got it set to 17. What's nice as well, I don't think on the existing unit it told you what the temperature was, but it's telling me that the temperature is currently 9, which is really good. And again, it's quite nice that I could utilise the electricity or turn it off. So that's pretty easy to use. As I say, other than the slide function, don't think pressing the button's great. It's not too bad really. Quite clear as you go in. It tells you what the temperature is in the van. Tells me that I'm connected there. In settings, you can change your temperature, units, your language. You can go into the device manager, check for updates and things like that. About the app, self-service, what this is. So it's like helping you to monitor issues, or should I say solve issues. Customer service, what's that? So that's just giving me contact information for customer service, open source licenses. So that's it really. There's not really much in settings. What's this? Resource. So presumably you can connect other things via the different kind of open language services. But yeah, that's it really. What's edit? Means I think you can just move things around. So for example, I don't really need that, so I could just move that to the bottom. So that's quite neat as well. Move that to the bottom. I know with different additional services, I know I've seen online things like water levels, the air conditioning unit from Truma if you've got that. So yeah, that bit. So there you go, hit save. Yeah, and that's it. So I can see what my temperature is in my van. I know my heating's on, lights up in red. If my hot water was on, that would come up there. And again, that lights up red, showing you that it's on. Yeah, pretty intuitive really. It's pretty good. Let's cancel the app and go back into my app and see how quickly it connects. So a couple of seconds, which is not too bad. You could even just reach into your pocket and change it. Suppose it's great for, you know, I don't know, being in bed in the morning, reach for your phone, turn the temperature up. Now, what'll be interesting is with the lid shut on my unit. Let's try this now. So lid shut on my unit. Let's see how far away from the van I get a connection. And obviously, door would be shut. And let's do it in steps so you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, most people would probably not, unless you've got a huge house, be never more than 20 steps. I think what I'm going to do is just, I've got a unit over the road where we keep our vans. I'm just going to step over the road and see if we can get a connection from the house. So you can't see this very well, but my van is just here, just behind this white van. So I've got a grey van. So you can see how far it is. It's across the road. I've opened the unit door, and I am sometimes getting a signal and sometimes not. So it's a bit iffy. Now, if you've got a big garden, a big drive, if your van is quite far away, or you're expecting to kind of turn the van on as you get back from a long walk, it's just not going to be practical. So if you want to really turn the van on and manage it remotely, you're probably going to have to go with the other solution, which is the existing unit, and then pay for the additional box, which you can then put a SIM card in and then do it via text. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to persevere with this solution. I think that's a better method for me, and see if there is an option to get Wi-Fi on that and then be able to do it that way, because I am planning on having Wi-Fi for it. However, the benefit to it not being Wi-Fi and being via text with the older unit is that if you've not got 5G signal, then you've got... You're having a nibble on me there while I'm doing a video. Yeah, if you've not got the signal, then you will more than likely have some kind of phone connection. So you've got to weigh it all up, really. I think for me, the ability to control the temperature from the bed and not have to get up, the other sort of added benefits of being able to future-proof it and add other things to the unit, I think is going to be better overall for me. And I know my father-in-law is looking for a control unit for his Truma for his van, so he can have my old unit. Other than that, I would have sold it, which would have got me 100 quid back, say, and would have meant that I could have got the 200 odd quid that I paid for the unit. It would have got some of that money back. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating. I was hoping for a bit more range, and it's just not. So I don't know whether you can turn Wi-Fi off on your phone to get a bit better range. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. What do you think, Loki? You just want a stroke? Is that what you're after? You just want a stroke? You're not bothered? There you go. There you go, mate. So I'm just about getting connection, but it's not great. And really all I want to do is turn it on or off. So let's see, if I stand at my door, let's have a go. I'll stand at my door. One good thing is it seems quite responsive. It seems to hunt for the connection. So, no, it's just really not liking it at all. I suppose the most useful thing I could do for you is to show how close you need to be in order to get a connection. Yeah, so I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, as line of sight, 20 steps seems to be where it's allowing, with the door shut, which is obviously how it's going to be. Yeah, that's connecting fine. And I can go up and down on it. Let's try 20 steps in the other direction. So this now will be 20 steps from the same side that the van, that the unit is on in the van. So again, 20 steps away. And that seems to be working fine. So I could change the position of the van when I park it at night, which might help, but yeah, you're just gonna have to really keep in mind the distance. The Wi-Fi is not great. Talking about 20 steps, and you've got to think about the practicalities of it being, you know, sat in a car park, so you might not have line of sight. So from that perspective, it's not practical. And to be clear, you can use this old unit and then put this other black box with it, and then you can effectively put this other box in there, which will then have a smart card, or a SIM card I should say, which you can then text it over longer distances to change it. So if you wanted to do that, it's probably a better solution. So anyway, the video wasn't supposed to be about that. It's supposed to be about just installing it, but I have gone through that anyway. So my next issue is the hole that is there to take the unit, or your existing hole. I think, as I said, we're going to have issues with covering the hole. So what I need to do is extend that hole out, and the existing space, I just don't think it's going to cover those holes. It doesn't matter as much for me because mine's on the inside of a cupboard, but rather than it just extend out, what you need to do is you would need to extend across, because the way it's shaped, i.e. the way that it's round there, it's going to show that, unless you increase the size across, increase the hole across, and then that would then help hide that, because then the curve would be here, and then you would hide your screw hole. So that's a bit of a tip. Now, because mine is inside my unit, it's probably not going to matter that much. So what I might do out of interest, just to show you guys, is how deep's that box? Yeah, I'll probably get away with that without having to cut the two. What I'll do is I'll try and trim across to show you how it will think. I mean, my hole's not perfectly straight because the nature of that, you could cover it a lot with it, so it didn't need to be like perfectly straight. But what I'll do is I'll kind of go across there, and then see if it does indeed cover the hole, just for the sake of the video. Nice. Need to turn my 230 volt on, and then make sure that's on. Right, I've just seen something which could be a bad design, but let me know what you think. So, as I showed before, it's got these things at the side that go up and down, which is quite nice. It pushes it into contact, and with, you know, basically pushes it into those. What am I trying to say? It pushes it into the opening, right? So, and again, because it's got a slope, depending on the thickness of your opening, it'll work to your advantage or disadvantage. But basically, it's going to hold it in place because that's quite a nice spike or whatever. So you can see the thickness of my unit there. The problem is, you've got this which spins around and then has a spring on it, and then you obviously tighten it and it clamps it, which is great. But if you push it in, I don't want to do it again because I've just nearly got it stuck. If you push it in and that's dropped down and you can't pull the bottom out, it can end up getting stuck in a little bit, so you have to wiggle it out. It doesn't feel like the best design. just giving that feedback. So I'll show you what I mean. Again, come on, you bastard. So you push that in and it holds it. Now, as I was saying, so there's your hole. So if my hole was level, so basically I could push that in now and screw that, and you would hide your hole there or thereabouts. You could maybe put a little bit of something around there, but I think some kind of frame or whatever would work. So if you are going over an existing unit, you do want to make sure that you come over to the left. Don't just extend your hole to the right or left or whatever. You need to sort of extend it both sides is basically what needs to happen. But yeah, so now I need to pull that tab, that metal tab down so it clamps behind it, and then I can tighten the screw, and then that's it. And then I can put this face, clip that back on, and then that's me done. But yeah, it just feels like before that clamped shut and I'd not released this side on the spring and I couldn't get it back out, it was stuck. So I've just spent 5 minutes trying to get it out, but just as a bit of a heads up, because if I was to undo that now and loosen it, I mean, you can see it on mine just about. Can you? Oh no, you can't. But anyway, yeah, you can just about see it there. See that? Yeah. If that's in a void in your wall, that's going to come loose and drop off and go right down into your wall. I think it's a shit design, really do. I think they've cocked up there. So anyway, I'm going to get this in, hoover everything up. So that's it, she's in. I've put this screen back on, I've fixed it. It needs a bit of a wipe, but I've just give it a quick hoover up. So it is hiding those circles. I think you can just see them there, but if you come over a bit more when you do yours, I think you'll be laughing, but I'm not too fussed. So, and yeah, the touchscreen's a bit better now. The room's warmed up a little bit. It's a bit more responsive, the touchscreen. So yeah, that's one thing I've noticed. He says, no, yeah, it's good. It's working a lot better. Go back. It'd be handy if it did like lock this on the. There you go. I can see it a bit better now. So yeah, it is a lot more responsive. Turn that on. There you go. So that's telling you that it's on now. Yeah, everything else in terms of setting up is pretty straightforward. As I say, the design on it, it's in there, it's clamped now, so it's worked pretty well for me, and it does allow you that adjusting. But I do think the design of when you screw that little lever that drops down to obviously clamp it shut, if you get stuck with that and it gets trapped and you try and unscrew that, you're going to unscrew it and you're going to drop that lever down the back of your unit, which could be bad if you've got it in a wall and you can't get access to it. But yeah, other than that, that's it. It's all kind of working. That's my installation video.